This is today's project. We'll be crocheting the eye granny square using DK yarn. I think I'll use DK yarn. Second Chronicle 69 never fails to come to mind whenever I'm crocheting an eye. This is the one I made using worsted weight yarn, and this is the one I made using DK yarn, and you can see the disparity in sizes, although it's not much. This one for the worsted weight is around 6.5 inches. Well, this other one is around 5 inches, so 1.5 inches size difference. What I did with my granny square, my eye granny square, is I used a 2.5mm crochet hook and fingering weight yarn, added some fringe to it, and made an eye wall hanging that actually hangs in my room. So every day when I wake up, I see it, and again, I think of 2nd Chronicle 69. You gotta love the Bible. You gotta love it. You got to love it. So anyway, this is what we'll be working on today, and you can see this design, the eye looks a bit dilated, so we are going to do one with just a bit of color changes to make it a normal sized pupil. I think this is the pupil. Is it the iris? To make the white part more pronounced. That's what you're going to do. So let's get to it. For today's tutorial, I'll be using DK weight yarn in various colors. You'll need at least 4 colors to make the eye pop, but you can use between 4 to 6 colors depending on how many color changes you want to make. I'm going to be using a 3.5mm hook for this tutorial just because I love it. You're going to need your scissors and your darning needle. I'm always pointing out that darning needle in tutorials, but really, truly, I need help. But anyway, let's get on with the tutorial. We're going to start with the center of the eye. And for that, I'm going to use black yarn. Feel free to play around with color choices. You're going to make a magic ring. And if you don't know how to make a magic ring, I have a very simple but detailed tutorial on it. I'll link it up here and in the description box. So you're going to make your magic ring, and you're going to work 12 double crochet into it. So I'll start with chain 2, and this chain 2 is going to count as a double crochet. So I'll chain 2. So that's the chain 2 was my first one. This is the second one. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then on the 12th stitch, because you're going to be working a color change, you're going to take the second yarn color and keep it loose. I'm going to take my brown. So as you work your 12th double crochet, when you have 2 loops on your hook, you're going to take the new color, leave enough of a length that you'll use to weave in later, and you're going to just finish off that double crochet with the new color. Then you'll put your magic circle tight and join to the first chain 2, which is our first double crochet, and finish off. That's our first round. For round 2, you're going to increase the circle by adding 2 double crochets into each stitch around. So you had 12 stitches for round 1, and at the end of round 2 you should be having 24 stitches. Make sure to just count your stitches so that you don't end up with a wonky eye.
Ooh, a lazy eye.
Wink wink. More eye jokes. Anyway, you chain 2. This counts as your first double crochet, and you work another one into the same space. And from here on out, you work 2 double crochets into each of the double crochets from the previous round. You're working 2 double crochets into each double crochet space from the previous round. I've run into the knot of shame. At least that's what I call it. Those knots you find in the middle of your yarn ball. I don't know how they even do this or why.
Why do they do this? Why do they do this to us?
What I do when I find these knots of shame is I just snip them off. But this one looks like the tails are long enough that I could weave them in. So I think I'm just going to ignore it and move on as if it's not there. I'll show you how to weave it in once we finish this row. Okay, we're still continuing.
Without a double crochet for the second row. The second row.
This one should be number 23 and number 24. 4. Let's just confirm. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 22 23 24. And when you get here, you want to change your yarn color again, and you're picking white for the white part of the eye, the sclera. I don't know how they came up with iris, pupil, then for the white part they decided to go with something like the sclera. Surely took me so many tries to finally figure out that pronunciation, and I'm still not sure if I'm saying it right. Sclera.
Sclera. Sclera. Sclera.
The white part of the eye. So when you get here, let me just snip off these two colors so they don't form a mess. You make sure you leave enough yarn length for you to turn in later, and put your balls aside. Then when you get to round 3, it's still going to be an increase row. What you're going to do is you're going to increase every other stitch. So you're going to work 2 double crochet in one stitch and 1 double crochet in the next one. So for this one, we'll start with a chain 2, which again counts as our double crochet, then double crochet into that space. Then in the next one, we work a double crochet. In the next stitch, we increase. In the next one, double crochet, increase, double crochet, increase, double crochet, increase, increase, double crochet, we increase, then double crochet, we increase, then double crochet, we increase. I'm still going to show you how to weave this in, but for now let's just move it to the back of our work like that. See, they won't shame us. They won't shame us with those knots. We know how to handle them.
We are professionals.
Double crochet, increase,
Double crochet, increase, double crochet, increase, double crochet, we work an increase, then double crochet.
You're not going to be changing color for this round, so we'll just join in the white to the second chain of the beginning chain 2. There we have our third round. It's starting to take shape. So the next 2 rows are going to be shaping to make it, to give it this oval shape right here. That will be the next row. This, okay, let me bring it. So the next row is going to give the eye this shape, and it's going to use a lot of different stitches, but I'm also going to include some literature somewhere in this video of how I'm moving along with the stitches, because it could get a bit confusing. But you can also download an inexpensive PDF version of this pattern over on my website, which you can follow along with as you watch the video tutorial, because it makes it easier to mark down the stitches as you go with the PDF as opposed to when you're just watching. So we are going to just go slowly, stitch by stitch, so that you get everything. The first thing you're going to do is work a single crochet in each of the first 2 stitches. Next, you're going to move on to work increase single crochet in each of the next 2, and you're going to repeat that pattern 3 times. So what that looks like is increase, single crochet in each of the next 2, increase, single crochet in each of the next 2, increase, single crochet in each of the next 2. From here you work a half double crochet in the next stitch, and 2 HDCs in the next one. In the next stitch you work a double crochet, and in the next one you work 2 treble crochets. In the next you work another double crochet, in the next half double crochet increase. After that you're going to work a half double crochet again, the next stitch, and then you're going to work a single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, work an increase, single crochet in each of the next 2, and you're going to repeat this pattern again 3 times. So you've done it once, you're going to increase, single crochet in each of the next 2, increase again, single crochet in each of the next 2. Then you're going to work half double crochet in the next stitch and 2 HDCs in the next stitch. In this one we are going to work a double crochet, then you'll work a treble increase in the next stitch, then a double crochet in the next one, and then you'll do a HDC increase over here and a half double crochet finally on your last stitch. But since you're changing colors, you're going to pick up your next color, which for me is this lovely beige. Of course you're going to leave a long tail before wrapping it on your hook and pulling it through to finish off that half double crochet. Then you're going to join it to the first stitch of your round. You can see it's starting to take shape.
So on to the next row,
which also has a variety of stitches on it. Just cut off your white yarn. So for row 5, again you're going to move slowly each stitch so that things don't get confused, and you can see before we get to the corner we're going to work a half double crochet, another half double crochet in that stitch, and another one. So we're going to work 3 half double crochet in each of the next stitches, then you're going to work double crochet in each of the next stitch, then a treble. So let's get started with those ones first. So you can see our corner. Don't be confused and work all these 4 stitches into one stitch. We are working 2 treble crochets, chain 2, then 2 TRs into the next stitch. So that's what we do over here. We work 2 TRs, chain 2, 2 trebles in the next stitch. And that is our first corner made. You're going to DC in each of the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Then HDC in each of the next 5. 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches, and AC in each of the next 2. 1, 2. So here we are going to work our second corner, which you see over here is going to be 2 single crochets into 1 stitch from the previous round. You chain 2, then 2 single crochet into the next stitch. So 2 single crochets, chain 2, 2 single crochets in the next stitch. And if you want to know if you're going in the right direction or counting your stitches well, the 2 single crochets are going to fall directly above the 2 trebles from the previous round. So moving on swiftly, a single crochet in each of the next 2. 1, 2. We HDC in each of the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Double crochet in each of the next 3. 2, 3, and here is where we work our third corner, which is going to be 2 treble in 1 stitch, chain 2, 2 treble in the next stitch, and that is our third corner. From here we're going to DC in each of the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. You're going to HDC in each of the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. Then work a single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then we've landed here, so we know we are working our fourth corner, which is going to be 2 AC, chain 2, 2 AC, 2 single crochets in the next one. See? Then a single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and half double crochet in each of the next 2, which are the last 2. Join, and can you see the eye? At the end of this row you should have 56 stitches and 4 chain 2 corner spaces. So just take a moment, pause the video, count your stitches, and if they're less or if they're more, just frog it and start from the beginning of the round, not the entire thing. Just frog until the beginning of the round and start over, and hopefully you've been counting your stitches each round. So here we're going to round 6, our second last row, this one over here. So this is a pretty simple one. You're just going to work HDCs into each of the stitches from the previous round, but when you get to the corner you're going to work 2 HDC, chain 1 and 2 HDC into the corner space. So you're working all those 4 stitches into this one corner space. So to begin, HDC, when you get to the end of your row, again you're going to take a new color, and just as you're working your last half double crochet, taking your new color, leaving enough yarn length to weave in later, and you're going to pull it through and join it. And as you can see, it's just a row of half double crochets, and at the corner you make sure you work 2 HDC, chain 2 and 2 HDC, but otherwise you work HDC in each of the stitches from the previous round. And we're just going to snip off beige yarn and work our last row. Our last row is also really simple. What you're going to do is just work single crochets into each of the stitches, and in the corner spaces you're going to work 2 single crochets. That's it. So chain 1 to begin and work a single crochet in that first stitch, single crochet in the next, and then you'll work a single crochet in each stitch across with 2 single crochets in the corner spaces. Work your last stitches, you join to the first stitch, and you fasten it off. There you have your crochet eye, to and fro across all the earth. Huh? To add a bit of twinkle to your eye, a bit of finishing touch to it, what I like to do is use my white yarn and add that white twinkle using my darning needle and the white yarn. So you'll just cut big enough piece, and right between row 1 and row 2 you're going to insert your needle into one of the double crochets into the middle of the next one. We're going to do this 2 to 3 times. And there you have it, your eye. Hey, I love it. I love it. Look at it. Look how realistic that looks. Right? Right? So all that's left is to weave in your ends very neatly. And I have a really awesome technique and tutorial on how I weave in my yarn ends called the triple tack method. It will also help with this knot of shame that we have over here. So I'm going to link the tutorial in the description box on how I weave in my ends. But man, just look at that. When you were starting, you didn't know this was what was going to happen, right? Right? Because you can see the difference between the two. This one is more dilated than this one. This one has that normal eye look to it, right? Right. You can use this square on its own, as I said, the way I've used it in my crochet eye wall hanging, or you can join it with several pieces to form a pillow or an afghan or even a bag. Can you imagine a bag with this? Oh, I should do something about that, right? Design a handy bag. I love it. I love it. Let me know in the comments what colors you'd choose for yours, because I love this. I would also like to see a green one or a blue one. Or even to match your eye color. This one matches my eye color, just brown. This is such a fun little project, and the best part, it only takes about 20 to 30 minutes to complete one. Imagine, for this gorgeousness. Quick, creative, and full of meaning. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Ooh, imagine even a top. You could even do a top with this one. I mean, the ideas are endless. You could have your own and share what you're going to do in the comments also. Sharing is fun. Sharing is scary. And remember, 2nd Chronicles 69.
Increase, double crochet, we work an increase, then double crochet,